We have already gone through how to submit undergraduate and graduate applications to US universities, but there is one more thing, and this has to do with the SOPHAS application, which is usually required by public health programs. I am going to fill the application to Hopkins University and Harvard University. I coached a medical doctor who got offers from them and ended up with Hopkins University's I-20. Her visa was approved. Johns Hopkins is actually the #1 public health university in the world. If you are new here, my name is Shaibu and I make videos about study abroad, life abroad, student life, visa interviews, and all of that. Consider subscribing to the channel. Alright, let's get started. So the first thing I want to do is to look for the SOPHAS application, and we can just type that into Google, and then we can go with this first link. And once we are here, we can accept all, and then we can just click apply now. So this is how the website looks like. We can easily create an account and then start everything. So let's assume we don't have any account, so we can go to create an account, and then we can start by our first name. So let's say Shai, and then the last name, let's say Boo, and then email address, I'm going with shaibu15@gmail.com, and then I can confirm. Let me copy and paste it and see if that works out. Well, I'm not able to do that, so I need to type it. So 15, and then the phone number I can enter. So let's say I'm in Ghana. I don't need to enter any alternate phone number, so I can move down and then agree to terms. And then I need to choose a username, so I can go with pshaibu, and then a password. Well, actually, this SOPHAS account is the same as the GradCast account, I think, because actually the interface looks the same, and I actually have an account with the GradCast. So let me use a different email address and then start all over again. So let me just use this particular email address, and then let me just let me just use this one, and then everything else correct. And then I can just go with this one, and then I can choose a password. The password must meet these requirements. So one lowercase letter, at least one uppercase, at least one number, and then at least one special character. So, and then I can retype it. So from here I can agree to the terms, and then European Union data protection. Are you currently located in a European Union country? So the answer is no. And then I'm not able to create an account. It means I need to correct something up here. So I need to go up here, and then they are saying this email is also registered. So let me use a different email address. Wow. So let me try to use my other email. So then I can go down, and then now, so this exists. I need to change this, and then I can go ahead and create an account. Then I can save it. So let's answer these questions. Will you have completed a master's degree by your anticipated program start date? Of course. Do you have a doctoral or nearly completed doctoral degree within 24 months of completion? No. We are assuming that we are coming to the US to do our master's, so yeah, let's go with no. Do you have post-undergraduate health-related work or research experience? So this one, you just have to go with what it is. Let's assume yes, and then if yes, length of experience, I can go with 2 to 3 years. Did you receive a degree from a non-US institution? So yes. Did you receive a medical degree from a non-US institution? So if you're a medical doctor and stuff like that, you can go with yes. So let's say no, and then indicate when you plan to begin public health school. So let's go with 2025. Currently we are in 2024, so let's go with 2025, and then let's save the changes. So this is how the application looks like, and we need to fill out each of these ones. Once we are done, we are going to see this one will turn to green, and then we can go ahead and then apply. But before that, let's add a program. So let's start with the name of the school. So let's say Johns Hopkins, and then let's search for it. So Johns Hopkins, so they have different programs here. I don't know which one is, we can just go with any of them. Let's go with epidemiology. So let's add it. by clicking on this, you can add it. If you click it again, you remove it. So we can click here and then, we can delete it, but let's keep it. So we want this. And then let's look for another university. So let's say Harvard, then search. So Harvard, there is only this one, so we can just add it as well. So now we've added 2 universities. We can click continue, or we can go to my application and then start from there, but let's click continue and see. So this is telling us that we have selected 2 universities, 2 programs, and this is the total application fee. So we can continue to my application and then start filling out the details. So let's start with personal information, and then let's start with the release statements. And so here we are affirming that all information contained in the application is factually correct. So yes, that is true. And then by selecting yes, you authorize SOPHAS to release part of your SOPHAS application and admission status to health profession advisors. So yeah, and then we can save and continue. Then we can go to the next section. These ones were already entered before, so we can just keep them like that. And here the sex is male. These ones, once we choose male, you can just keep it like that. If you have different identity and other stuff, you can put them here. But yeah, here you can put he, him, but if you want, but that's not really. Yeah, once you put male and then you think you are male, that's fine. Or if you are a female, if you have other gender, then you can go ahead and then enter what it is. So once you don't see an asterisk, it means you can skip it, but ideally you should fill out everything that is important. So date of birth, we can normally I go with the year 2000, and then I like to go with January 1st. And the country of birth, so let's say Ghana. Then I can choose a city of birth. I can go with Cape Coast. And then the state or province, so Central. And then the country, okay, the county, so NA. In Ghana we don't have county, so save and continue, and then continue to the next section. And then my address, so let's say Ghana, and then the address, let's go with 24. This is really not correct, so, and then it's Central, and then the county NA. There's postal code, we can put 5 zeros if you want. You can also put 00233. Let's skip 00233. Approximate date through which current address is valid. So when you've been at your current address, so it's like, when do you think you are going to leave that place? If you don't know, you can just leave it like that. That's not really a big deal. So is this your permanent address? Yeah, you can just say yes, so that you don't have to enter everything again. Permanent address means it's the same as more or less where you are and where you are expected to be in the near future. So then we can keep going. And then second party authorization, so if you like somebody to have access to your account, then you can enter the person's details so that you are authorizing that person. But yeah, we can just keep it like that. If you have alternate email, you can also enter it. All of these things, if you have, you should do all of these things. So save and continue, and then continue to the next section. US citizenship, we are non-resident. Country of citizenship, so Ghana. Do you have dual citizenship? No. Legal state of residence, so we are international students, so NA. Do you have a US visa? No, so we don't. So save and continue, and then next section. Then add a parent or guardian, so you can add their information here. So let's say we're adding our mother, so let's say Mary, and then Boo, she's female. Let's say she's living, and then occupation, let's say accountant, and then she's outside the US and Canada, so let's say international, and then NA, and then her level of education. If you choose anything above bachelor's degree, means you are not a first generation student. Let's go with high school graduate or something. Just select what applies to you. Is this parents in your primary household? So let's say yes, you are living with them. How many people other than your parents lived in your primary household? So let's go with 4, which means a family of 6, I guess. 4 other people, excluding you and your mom. So yeah, so we can just save and continue. If we want to add our father, we can add it. Just make sure you fill out everything, and then we can click the here, and then the race and ethnicity. So we are not Hispanic, we are black, and then we can save and continue. And then here we can select our first language. It is always important to go with English so that you don't have to provide English proficiency test, because if you say English is not your first language, they are going to require you to submit an English proficiency test. So another language, you can add another language, and then let's say Africans, and then you can say advanced, and then this should be fine. If you have other languages you want to add, you can go ahead and then use this button to add them. Military status, we are not member of the military. And then, have you ever been disciplined for academic performance? Well, let's say no. Have you ever been disciplined for student conduct violations? Let's say no. Check if any of the following applies to you. So I graduated from a high school from which a low percentage of seniors receive a high school diploma. I don't think any of this applies to us, but you can read it and then be sure, but I don't think so. Okay, here you can go with this. Let's say you are a first generation student, right? You are the first person that is attending college, in your nuclear family. So just read it and then look at what applies to you. By designating any of the above, you are considered to have met the criteria for educationally, environmentally disadvantaged as defined by the above guidelines. So these are more like minority, groups. Your parents' family income falls within the table's guidelines, and you are considered to have met the criteria for economically disadvantaged. Let me just go with no, and then you have to decide what type of geographic area were you raised. We can go with a small town, and then social security SSN. We don't have it, so you can just ignore this. And then, are you the first member of your immediate family to have completed an undergraduate degree? If you are a first generation student, then that is a yes. Are you the first member of your immediate family to pursue a graduate degree? Yeah. Are you or were you a military service member who plans to use military education benefits? No. Are you applying for financial aid? No. Do you want to be considered for financial assistance? Yes. Financial aid is based on your background. If you are from a poor home and then you are seeking that, normally this is for like Americans and stuff like that. So but this one, yes. And then how do you about the public health? So you have to go with what applies to you. Maybe SOPHAS, and then continue. Then we can continue. Then we have to add our high school details. So let's say the high school was completed in Ghana. Let's say Central. They don't find anything, right? So we can just manually enter our school. So the states, we can just say Central, the city, Cape Coast, and then we can say, well, actually, they are suggesting some schools, but it's not here. Let's just use this one and continue. And then we attended from May, and then we can save the school, and then select your anticipated occurring graduation status from high school. Well, we've already graduated, so we can go with this. So Christ the King, and then we graduated 2009, so maybe September 2009. Save and continue. Yes, it's correct. Continue. Then we have to enter university details. So let's say University of Cape Coast. Okay, so we have University of Cape Coast. And then, did you obtain or are you obtaining a degree? So we have obtained it. Degree has been awarded. So I earned a Bachelor of Arts. When did I earn it? Let's say September 2015, right? And then the major, I did economics, so I can still go with my economics. Let's say there was no minor, and then I didn't have a double major, so let's keep it like this. What type of term system does your university use? So semester. What was your teaching status, resident or non-resident at this college or university during the last term you attended? So not applicable. Are you still attending this university or college? Well, no. And then when did you attend? So first semester was fall, August 2009. Well, 2011 actually, to 2015, and then we can save it. So we have this. Now we have to send our evaluated transcript. We can just say order and see what is here. So here we can do it later, or we can also visit West and then request for it. So when you click on this West, then yeah, then you can just create an account. I've already made a video about how to evaluate your transcript using the West, so you can check it out. And yeah, if they ask you about the specific centralized application service, the CAS, then you can choose SOPHAS, and then yeah, you can follow this instruction, and then they are going to send your transcript. So let's say we've done all of that, right? So we'll just say I'll do that later, and then we don't have to do anything else. Then we can go to, okay, I think this is where we are. Okay, well, so basically I think you have to enter the coursework from from your transcript. They are going to charge you $80 to do it for you, if you have one transcript, up to 3 transcripts actually. But we can also do it ourselves. So let's continue and see. So here they are saying that you do not need to enter transcript information for foreign colleges. So actually we don't even have to do that, right? We don't even have to do that. So that's good. Standardized test, and then here, if you have taken GRE, GMAT, any of these things, then you have to enter them. So let's go with GRE. So here, if you have taken the GRE, you have to go with yes, and then the date you took the exam, and then your registration code. You have to enter what you got in the quantitative, the verbal, the analytical writing, and then your percentile. All of this will be on the GRE report, right? So then you can enter all of these things. We can go with no, and then we can click here again, and then we can just say I am not adding any test. So we have filled the first part. We can click on here, my application. You can go to supporting documents, and then recommendations. Let's start with that. So we have to have at least 3, but if you want to add more, then we can use this one to add more. But basically these 3 are required. So let's go with this one, and then due date. So you are telling the person that please submit the recommendation letter by this due date, so maybe a week time, right? And then you can write a personal message to the person, right? Then here, it's always good to waive your rights, because you're trying to say you don't want to see whatever the person says about you, which means you trust the person, right? If you say no, it means whatever the person says about you will be shared with you. More or less, you don't trust the person. So, and then here we are giving permission to contact the recommender, and then permissions for schools to contact, yes. So that we can save this one, and then we have to do it again. So the request has already been sent to the person, and once the person submits it, you are going to see the status will change to submitted, or complete or something. One of them, you are going to see it here. So yeah, and then we can send him a nice message as well, and then we waive our rights. Then check this, save this, and then so we are done with this side. We can click the experiences and then share our experiences. So the jobs we have done, so employment or research, whatever you want to put there, then you can just fill it out. So let's go with employment. So let's say University of Cape Coast, the States Central. You can go with doctor, and then his phone number, we can just ignore it. And then if you know it, just enter all of these things, and then the email address as well. Okay, let's say it's still my current experience. I don't want to enter another thing again. So the status, so let's say full-time job, and then my title, teaching assistant, and then compensated means they pay me average weekly hours. So let's say I work 40 hours a week. Number of weeks, I don't know if this is every month. I mean, you can just go with this. Is not going to affect your application, so it's not a big deal. This is a description of your responsibilities. You can just copy this from your CV or your resume. Okay, you can just copy and paste it here. Then release authorization. So yeah, you can contact my organization. Then save and continue. We don't want to keep this video too long, so we can just leave it like this, and then go to additional experiences, and then whatever we have done, we can add them here. This is straightforward. And then achievements, if you have won something, you can go to add achievements, and then whatever you did, let's go with awards, and then your name, and then the name of the organization that awarded you, when you got the award, and then exactly what the award is about, and stuff like that. So that's straightforward. Let's ignore this. Let's go back here. It looks like it's not complete. So save and continue actually. And then here I am not adding any achievements. And then yeah, these ones, if you have them, just add them, right? They are kind of straightforward. Then we have to upload a CV or resume. Let me just upload something. So I have attached the document here, so you can just click upload this document. So we are done with this section as well. We can go to my application again, And then this is the last part. Let's finish it quickly. So these ones are program specific requirements. So for Harvard and then Johns Hopkins. So let's start with Harvard and see what's here. Then we have to, these are details. Let's go to questions. Then we have to fill this out. Please select, so we want to be full-time students. If you're applying to the Master of Public Health, are you planning to be either summer focused? Yeah, we can just go with yes. And then Harvard affiliation. Yeah, let's say we don't have any affiliation with Harvard, right? How do you about the program, the Harvard program? Whatever it is, maybe colleague or a publication of a professor, electronic media, whatever you wanna use. I can go with maybe employer. And then what is your current or most recent occupation? I choose accountant, right? Let's go with that. How long have you been in this occupation? We can go with 8 years. And then, are you active duty US military? No. Do you plan to be active duty? No. In which branch of US military do you serve? Well, none, right? So you can just ignore it. Are you a veteran? No. Financial aid. So, and they are saying international students are eligible to apply. So that's good to know. Yeah, so the financial aid, then we can go back and then choose yes. And then please enter your response in this section. So briefly describe an overlooked public health problem in your country and what do you think should be done. So here you can just enter something, the problem you are trying to solve. So, and our concentration. So maybe epidemiology. And then referrals. I am willing to be considered for an alternative Harvard Chan School. If you want, yes. Releasing contact information to alumni. Yeah, if you want your information to be given to Harvard University alumni, maybe yes. Licensure. Have you ever had any professional certification revoked or suspended? Well, no. And so we are going to say that okay, everything is true, and then we are going to put our date. So let's put today's date, and then statement of application authenticity. So we are saying that everything we have submitted is true. So let's put today's date, and then we can save and continue, and then we can save it, then we can close it. And then the documents, so we are supposed to upload a few documents. So I've attached the statement of purpose, and I can click on upload this document. And then we're also required to upload the program ACL statement. So let's choose a file so I can upload this document. These other ones are optional, we don't have to. If you have them, you can upload them, but we don't have to. So then we've done it for Harvard. Let's do it for Johns Hopkins. And this is the program information, and then we can go to questions. And have you applied to Johns Hopkins University before? No. Have you taken courses at, well, let's say no. What is the most influential factor in your decision? So let's say an employer recommended it, and then we can explain it here. Did Coursera or FutureLearn influence your decision? Well, we can say none of these. If you are being funded by or intend to be funded by an external agency, please tell us the name of the organization so we can put it there if there is anything like that. I understand that I can apply to a maximum of 3 programs. So, okay. Are you a military service member? No. Have you been adjudicated guilty or convicted of misdemeanor? No. Have there ever been any charges of ethical or professional misconduct? No. If admitted to our school, do you plan to be concurrently enrolled at another university? No. Which credential agency are you planning to use to evaluate your academic records? So here we can just put World Education Services. In order to help us locate your test scores, please indicate which English language proficiency test you are submitting. We don't have to. Depend on your country, you don't have to. So let's ignore it. And then your publications, you can, enter all of them. And here we have to acknowledge everything. So there is something called your research track. So what your research is going to be about. So let's say cancer epidemiology. And then you can explain what you want to do. And then you have to describe how you see epidemiology fitting into the broader field of public health. So you can enter something. And then detail your experience and performance with quantitative concepts. So then you can, all these are, stuff that you have to do. Then all of these things, and then all of these things. So you can just fill them out. And then save and continue. and then you can close this. And then we are supposed to upload documents, and they only require the statement of purpose. So let's upload one. So I have attached the file. We can just upload the file, and we are done. So now we can go to application and see if there is anything else. So clearly we've done everything, right? So we can actually submit both applications. So let's go to submit application, and then you can see that this is ready. So we can just go to submit all, and then we can submit both. If we have a code, we can enter the code to get application fee waived or something. But these top schools, you are not going to get any waiver unless you are from a poor home or something. So we can just continue, and then we can continue, and then we can enter our credit card details and all of these things. Here, the holder of the credit card has to use their address, right? It's likely to be different from your permanent address, so then you can just go ahead and then use a different address, and then enter the person's address, and then the details. And then once you pay, that's all. The application will be submitted. If you want to know, what happens after application has been submitted, you can check my other videos. If you have enjoyed the video, smash the like button, share the video with your friends, and thanks for watching. I'll see you in my next video.